Okay, this is my second attempt to do this. Well, I tried to compile a short description of what I've done in the last 1.5 years, and it turned out 3.5 hours long, and that's not so much of a teaser, is it? So I decided to do it again, make it shorter, and there were complaints that I recorded it from the side. So now it's not from the side, it's from the front. It's kind of from the front. Anyway, over the last 1.5 years I've been writing books in metaphysics, not metaphysics, not physics. And metaphysics, actually it's something I kind of invented, not really invented, but kind of like gave it the name. And metaphysics is the field of thought where you discuss what is true to all metaphysical theories. And if you don't know what a metaphysical theory is, it's basically discussing everything that exists in the world, from your own thoughts to elements, physical elements, and time and space and whatever. Now, what I found incredibly lacking in metaphysics in general is that is what I call the completeness criterion, and that's a lack of explanation to the very component that allows us to experience our existence, meaning our consciousness, our self-awareness. And I found that most of theories discuss everything but that, meaning the way things appear in our consciousness, what they are compiled of, how they evicted from our consciousness, and how this happens according to our intent and lack of intent. Now, I call this the completeness criterion, and that's the idea is you have to explain how things emerge in your mind. And so I decided to attempt to build the first complete metaphysical theory which describes everything that we sense in our consciousness in a consistent manner, meaning without referring to things which we do not understand unless they are not understandable, meaning unless they are beyond discussion. Which is different from religious perspective, a religious perspective in which God is understandable. God gives. Why I'm saying God? Because eventually you reach the level where you cannot explain anything anymore, and you're saying it's God or whatever, a force of nature. You can give it whatever name you want, but unlike a religious perspective, I said that I'm leaving God, or whatever you want to call it, a force of nature. I'm giving it everything it can do. I'm giving the entire area where I cannot discuss anymore, let's say, the reason why things come to exist out of nothing. I'm leaving that to God, and the rest is consistent and is not by God. Why is that important? Well, you have to read this video. I'm making this video not so to explain anything to you, but so to make you curious to know what I've done, because I've spent a lot of effort on it, and so I'm trying to give you motivation. Anyway, the discussion led me to several conclusions, which must be true to whatever belief you have. And again, I will not go into the explanations because I don't want to repeat the mistake of my last video. But for example, things which I learned by my analysis, which does not require anything. I mean, I don't ask you to believe throughout these books, these two books, Data Theory and Inconsistent. I do not ask you to believe in anything, but the conclusions were quite not trivial. For example, one conclusion is that all matter is alive. There is no miracle of life. All particles are equally alive. Another understanding was that gravity emerges from empty space rather from matter, like what we think. Once you analyze the consistency of the claim that matter pulls matter to it, you understand that this cannot be. If you discuss metaphysics and then you understand that empty space must generate gravity, I'm not going to explain this in this video. Again, I'm not trying to summarize it, because any summarizing attempt ends up being as long as the entire book. Another conclusion is that we cannot create a consciousness or artificial intelligence with our current technologies. There is a different technology which I am suggesting both what it is and how to make the first step in realizing it, which I call contingent dimensions, which once we master this technology, we'll no longer need energy. No longer. And this is according to empirical data and the arguments which I'm proposing in this text. There is no other way. They simply exist. There is a technology waiting behind the door, and we are not looking at it. And actually, this is goes against. There are many contemporary attempts to create artificial intelligence, trying to mimic the manner our brain works, not discussing metaphysics. And not only are they going to fail, but the failure is a cause for concern that we're still trying to use our current metaphysical paradigm to attempt something which is, whatever you believe in is impossible. this book also explains the existence of these things. I said before, things that make things appear out of nothing, which I call inconsistent elements, and I also call them, and they are as potent as gods, as the monotheist God. They must exist, and I'm describing them, and I'm showing the symmetries between these inconsistent elements which produce the things out of nothing. I call them the real gods. I call them the real gods because they are both as potent as gods, and they are real. They affect our consciousness constantly, and we do not seem to mind. They make elements which should not affect one another, like dreams and our reality affect one another, and we don't think there's something strange about that. I'm discussing all of these. I'm discussing also how religions spore out of, due to these inconsistent elements, or the real gods. That's in the second book. And the manner these real gods affect us, which I call demons. And by this analysis I managed to find a consistent pattern which is suggesting a change is coming for us as a society. And I exemplify it in the last chapter of Inconsistent with the progression of my life through my musical works. And that's basically the entire thing. There are many issues. The books are very hard to read because they are simply, they don't give slack to anything. They are determined to explain everything in a consistent fashion. So they are hard to read. And not to repeat the mistake, my previous mistake, I've just stated the things. If you're into also before that, these books explain the actual benefits, cognitive benefits of beauty, and the manner we alleviate what I call demonic sufferings through art, in what I call the demon casting, and the difference between this and what we consider as craft. The difference between art and craft becomes much more tangible to understand, and to understand what we are supposed to do as artists. As you know, I am a musician. Anyway, if you're interested in either your own life, meaning what you are supposed to do as a consciousness in this life, what is it we are supposed to do with all these various belief systems offering the solution to us, and we have to select one thing to do at a time, and what is it? If you are interested in physics, in understanding the limits of physics, and understanding why we are now limited and what is around the corner, if you are interested in biology, in understanding what makes our body tick, what is in our DNA, what is not in our DNA is by far more significant, understanding evolution, understanding the way we think, understanding the difference between our body and our consciousness. If you're interested in understanding what is God, finding proof it exists, and understanding it is different, fundamentally different from the gods you were told of. If you want to understand how these gods affect your psyche, how they change your reality, if you want to know how to resist them, if you want to know where they are leading us, if you want to understand my music, this is all in these books. And I will be glad to answer rationally every question you might have with respect to this video. But personally, I think the most profitable option for you, if anything I've said interests you, if art interests you, not my art, your desire to create, if physics interests you, if you want to be the pioneer, to be the next Albert Einstein, if you want to reach that, to find where the real problems are, all of that is in these books. And this is why I diverted my efforts from making music to this, because I understood this is too big to neglect. And I know everything I say sounds far-fetched. I can explain everything, but I don't want to make this another 3.5-hour video. So, if you have any question about any of the things I've said, if you want elaborations on any of the things I've said, and you don't find yourself capable of reading these books, you can ask. And I will answer if it's in good taste. If it's not, then no. Okay. So I hope you will find things to inspire you in these books.